Air traffic control, this is Alpha 254, requesting clearance for departure.
Roger that. Car clear. Proceed to runway 5.
الطيارة جاهزة للسفر. لازم نتحرك، لازم نتحرك. نرجع للبيت الشمال. نعم سيدي، نعم سيدي. All flight attendants, we are cleared for departure. Please take your seat.
Hi everyone, today I want to talk about a game that I recently played and absolutely loved, Alpha Protocol. For those of you who haven't heard of it, Alpha Protocol is a role-playing game that was developed by Obsidian Entertainment and released in 2010. It's a bit of a hidden gem, but trust me when I say it, it's worth checking out. One of the things that sets Alpha Protocol apart from other RPGs is its emphasis on player choice. Throughout the game, you will be faced with a variety of moral dilemmas and decisions that will affect the story and outcome of the game. It's really cool to see how your choices can drastically change the directions of the plot. The gameplay itself is also really fun. It's a blend of action and stealth, and there are a ton of different weapons and gadgets to use. The combat is fast-paced and satisfying, and there are plenty of enemy types to keep things interesting. But what really makes Alpha Protocol stand out is its character development. The main character, Mike Thornton, is fully voiced and has a ton of personality. As you progress through the game, you will get to know him and the other characters really well, and the relationships you build with them can be quite impactful. Alpha Protocol received mixed reviews upon release, with critics praising the game's unique gameplay and setting, but criticizing its buggy and unpolished nature. Despite its mixed reception, the game has garnered a cult following in recent years. The game mechanics in Alpha Protocol are designed to give the player a high degree of control over the game world. The player is able to choose how to approach each situation, and the game provides a variety of options for doing so. The player can also choose to ignore certain objectives or to complete them in any order they wish. This allows the player to manage the game to their own play style. The game also features a morality system which allows the player to make choices that affect the outcome of the game. The player's choice can lead to different endings, and the game provides feedback on the player's choices to help them make informed decisions. Overall, the game mechanics in Alpha Protocol are designed to give the player a high degree of control and flexibility in how they play the game.
Mike, Marburg is going to try and kill you. What are you going to do?
According to Shell Approach, there are three primary game mechanics at work in Alpha Protocol: player choice, branching storylines, and moral choices. All of these mechanics work together to create a unique and engaging gaming experience. Player choice is a key element of Alpha Protocol. The game allows players to make choices that affect the outcome of the story. This gives players a sense of control over the game and allows them to tailor the experience to their own preferences. Branching storylines are another key element of the game. The story branches depending on the choices players make. This allows for a more personalized experience and allows players to see different aspects of the story depending on their choices. Moral choices are also a key element of Alpha Protocol. The game allows the players to make choices that have moral implications. This allows players to explore the gray areas of morality and to make choices that reflect their own personal values. We see a map design that progresses in a 3D modeled world where a wide variety of places are constructed as interiors and outside spaces. As a level design, it's a game with a high variety and the sections progress in a linear map. Some examples are railways, stations, desert towns, plaza interiors, casinos, and villas. Also, the game is set in a number of different locations around the world, including a US military base, a Russian military base, and a number of different civilian locations. If we look at objects, attributes, and states, regarding this part, it can be said that there are deficiencies in the design of the states of artificial intelligent characters. Apart from that, we see that the bonus characters that we can open using the dialogues in the game can be important in terms of object diversity. Also, we can manage our characters' attributes according to our playstyle, weapons, upgrades, etc. Each object has a number of different attributes such as damage, range, and accuracy, and can be in a number of different states, such as being equipped or being in your inventory. Characters can be in different states such as alive or dead and can transition between the states. If you look at the actions, the main actions in the game are movement, combat actions, stealth, hacking, and dialogues and interactions. There are a number of different rules that govern the game, such as the order of play and how damage is calculated and how characters can interact with each other and the environment. The game requires also a certain amount of skill to play, such as being able to aim and shoot accurately and familiarity with combat games. Random elements are present in the game, such as the result of combat. The Adams and Norman's approach would involve looking at the game mechanics in terms of how they contribute to players' experience. In particular, they would focus on how the mechanics support the game's narrative and how they create opportunities for the player's agency. For example, the way that Alpha Protocol allows players to choose their own dialogue options creates a sense of agency and allows players to shape the story in a way that is not possible in most other games. The game's combat mechanics are also designed to give players a high degree of control and allow them to approach situations in a variety of ways. This again supports the game narrative by giving players the freedom to choose their own paths. There are 4 main game mechanics in Alpha Protocol: combat, stealth, hacking, and social interaction. Each of these mechanics is integral to the game and each provides its own unique challenges and rewards. Combat in Alpha Protocol is fast-paced and tactical. Players must use cover and strategic positioning to take down enemies while also managing their ammo and health. Stealth is also important in combat as players can use stealth to take down enemies without being detected. Hacking is a central mechanic in Alpha Protocol and allows players to access locked doors, computer terminals, and other areas. Hacking also allows players to disable security cameras, alarms, and other electronic devices. Social interaction is also important in Alpha Protocol as players can use it to influence NPCs, to gather information, and complete missions.
Mike, what happened?
Dang is dead.
Talk to me, Mike. What's happening down there?
Damn it. I don't see anybody.
The physics in Alpha Protocol are based on the Unreal Engine 3 physics engine, which means that the game features realistic physics. Objects in the environment can be interacted with and will react realistically to the player's actions. For example, if the player shoots a barrel, it will explode and damage anything nearby. The internal economy in Alpha Protocol is based on a system of credits. Players can earn credits by completing missions and objectives and can use them to purchase weapons, armor, and other items from vendors. The progression mechanisms in Alpha Protocol are based on the player's actions and decisions. The game features a branching storyline and the player's choice will affect the course of the story. Additionally, the player can choose to specialize in different areas such as stealth or combat and will earn different rewards for doing so. The tactical maneuvering in Alpha Protocol is based on the player's ability to use the environment to their advantage. The game features a cover system and players can use cover to evade enemy fire and flank enemies. Additionally, the player can use various gadgets and abilities to gain an advantage in combat. The social interaction in-game is based on the player's ability to build relationships with the game's characters. The player can choose to help or hinder the characters, and their choices will affect the characters' attitudes towards the player. Additionally, the player can use the characters to gain information and access to new areas. All in all, I highly recommend giving Alpha Protocol a try if you are a fan of RPGs. It's a bit of an older game at this point, but it's still well worth playing. Thanks for watching.
Wait, are you crying? All that art, it's a piece of our cultural heritage just gone, you know?
Art? Seriously, that's what you're upset about? Shit, I thought you had lost it.